Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika Mehto, coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses the second edition of Infinity Forum, says India is in a strong position to give leadership to the Global South, quoting Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with thousands of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra beneficiaries via video conferencing. And the United States vetoes UN ceasefire bid put forward by the UAE for humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. UK abstained, while 13 of the Council's 15 members voted in favour. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with the beneficiaries of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra via video conferencing on Saturday. The Prime Minister also addressed the gathering on the occasion. Hailing the initiative in motion of making India a developed country, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra focuses on saturating government benefits, making sure that they reach the citizens across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually addressed the second edition of Infinity Forum on Saturday. The Thought Leadership Forum focuses on how technology and innovation can be leveraged by fintech sector for inclusive growth. Now, speaking at the forum, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated about India's strong position in Global South. He said that there is a better environment for investment in India.
इसी साल मार्च में ऑस्ट्रेलिया के पीएम ने कहा था कि भारत ग्लोबल साउथ को लीडरशिप देने के लिए मजबूत स्थिति में है। कुछ महीने पहले वर्ल्ड इकोनॉमिक फोरम ने भी कहा है कि भारत में रेट टेपिज्म कम हुआ है, निवेश का बेहतर माहौल बना है। आज पूरी दुनिया भारत से उम्मीदें लगाए हुए है और ये ऐसे ही नहीं हुआ है। ये भारत की मजबूत होती अर्थव्यवस्था और पिछले 10 वर्षों में किए गए ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव रिफॉर्म्स का रिफ्लेक्शन है।
The United States on Friday vetoed a proposed United Nations Security Council demand for an immediate humanitarian ceasefire in the conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. 4 earlier drafts presented since the war broke out were rejected by the Security Council. 13 other members voted in favor of a brief draft resolution put forward by the United Arab Emirates, while the UK abstained. North Korea is determined to launch more spy satellites in the near future to collect information on military activities of its enemies. State media KCNA said this on Saturday. Now, the satellites will be modeled after the Malikyong-1 satellite that Pyongyang launched in November, that the governments in which the United States, South Korea and Japan said violated the UN Security Council resolutions. North Korea has been criticized over its ties with Russia by South Korea, Japan and the US, who says Pyongyang is providing arms support to Moscow in return for help advancing its military capabilities. The United States, South Korea and Japan have agreed on new initiatives to respond to North Korea's threats in cyberspace, including satellite launches and cryptocurrency abuses. The national security advisors of the United States, South Korea and Japan met in Seoul on Saturday as Pyongyang warned that it would deploy more spy satellites. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said the meeting followed up on commitments set forth at the Camp David Trilateral Summit hosted by the U.S. President Joe Biden in August, where the leaders of three allies pledged to deepen security and economic cooperation.
We're increasing our trilateral defense cooperation, including sharing missile warning data in real time. We've also launched new trilateral initiatives to counter the threats posed by the DPRK, from its cybercrime and cryptocurrency money laundering to its reckless space and ballistic missile tests. When it comes to the DPRK, we are keeping our eye on the ball because it continues to represent a threat to international peace and security and to regional peace and security.
Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro unveiled on Friday a new map of Venezuela that shows the disputed territory of Essequibo amid growing border tensions between Guyana and the country. Tensions escalated over the weekend when the voters in Venezuela rejected the ICJ's jurisdiction and backed the creation of a new Venezuelan state in a referendum. Guyana has questioned the vote's legitimacy, put its armed forces on high alert, and also said Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is disregarding ICJ orders about taking no action to change the status quo in Essequibo.
Let's see where on the map we will celebrate tonight. Long live the complete map of Venezuela. Long live the homeland. Long live all the Venezuela.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Friday he would run for president again in 2024 presidential election. Vladimir Putin has already served as the president for longer than any other ruler of Russia since Joseph Stalin, beating even Leonid Brezhnev's 18-year tenure. The announcement was made as Putin was decorating participants of Russia's military operation in Ukraine. Dasha Chernyshova is in Moscow with more.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has confirmed that he will run for his fifth presidential term. Putin broke the news at an award ceremony at the Kremlin, saying he had, quote, different thoughts at different times, but he understood that there was no other way but to run again. The announcement is no surprise, and experts say the way it was made likely indicates what the presidential campaign will appeal to. The approval ratings are high and many politicians welcome the news. Valentina Matviyenko, the chairperson of the Federation Council, said that the Russian society was united like never before around Putin's government. The election is set for the 17th of March and will last 3 days. The so-called new territories of Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics, Zaporizhia and Kherson regions will also participate in the voting. The question now is what other candidates will participate in the race. State Duma parties are yet to announce their candidates. The opposition, jailed or abroad, urged Russians to vote for any other candidate than the incumbent president. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said he was certain that the electoral campaign will come under outside pressure, but noted that Putin, at the head of Russia, started the process of tectonic shifts in all aspects of global life. Dasha Chernyshova, reporting in Moscow for DD India.
Still to come on DD India Live. Guatemala's newly elected president rejects a legal move by the prosecution to invalidate his election victory. An International Olympic Committee clears Russian athletes to compete in Paris 2024 Olympics as neutrals. Approval is limited to individual sports.
Namaskar, welcome back to Media Scan, your weekend dose of headlines, controversies and perspectives.
Perhaps Rajiv Gandhi realized that it was not easy to work with a person like Pranab Mukherjee, who had a very strong mind of his own, backed with a formidable combination of knowledge, experience and expertise. Your own vice president had shown publicly such disdain for your own government's decision, his own government's decision. Why should people vote for you again? Whether that true Congress ideology of inclusiveness, of tolerance of divergence of opinion, whether that divergence of opinion is being followed by the adherents of today's, the leaders and the workers of today's Congress party.
In a world that never stops, where information shapes our reality, one app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live with me, Deepika. Well, Indian Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, interacted with Indian students and young professionals in Dubai. He highlighted the vast strides India has taken over the past decade.
We are today rolling out the fastest rollout of 5G technology is happening in India, but it is Indian 5G stack. So when you look at the CoWIN or the Covaxin, when you look at the 5G, when you look at the Chandrayaan, this is also Viksit Bharat in the making. So I feel today that it's important young people, especially those, many of you live and study abroad, your influence is not just limited to your immediate group or family. You meet others, you shape the thinking of India, when they hear from you in a very natural way what is happening in India. It is something which definitely gives them in a very sincere way, in a very natural way, a sense of really how is India progressing. And this message of how is India progressing is something which is very important to communicate to the world.
Now, Chennai continues to struggle after devastating floods brought by Cyclone Mikjom earlier this week. Union Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar on Saturday reviewed the flood situation in Chennai's Tambaram Mudichur area. Speaking to the media persons, the Union Minister said Prime Minister Narendra Modi is concerned about the people of Chennai. He added that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also stand by Chennai and give all possible help to the people of Chennai to recover from the cyclonic incident.
Prime Minister has already released almost 1,000 crore rupees. He has released it immediately. He is very concerned about the people of Chennai and the city of Chennai. And he has sent me here today to meet with state administrations, district administration, to see if there is any other support that is required from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. And whatever I'm hearing here, whatever I'm seeing here, I will communicate to Prime Minister today evening. And he is sending a message to all that he will stand by, he will do everything necessary to help Chennai recover, help all the people of Chennai to recover from this very, very unfortunate cyclonic incident.
India has joined a select group of nations that produce reference petrol and diesel. Now, this is a major step towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliant India, as it will end dependence on imports. Now, reference fuels are premium high-value products. They are used for calibration and testing of automobiles. The Indian Oil Corporation has successfully developed domestic products that will replace imports of these specialized fuels. So reference fuels have a high octane number as well. Octane number, they measure the quality of fuels. So like, for instance, regular fuel has an octane number of 87, while reference grade fuel comes with an octane number of 97. For vehicle testing, a higher grade of fuel is required. Now, in a significant milestone for health insurance coverage in India, the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana has facilitated more than 59 million hospitalizations at a cost of over 74,000 crore rupees since the year 2018. According to the National Health Authority, general medicine has emerged as the most utilized specialty, catering to over 11 million patients. The top 3 specialties, including infectious diseases, general surgery and medical oncology, account for over 15,000 crore rupees. The scheme has been critical in providing medical support to millions across the nation. India-Korea Electronic Origin Data Exchange System was launched on the 6th of December in India's capital. The chairman of Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, India-Korea Electronics Origin Data Exchange System, Mr. Sanjay Kumar Agrawal, launched the system. Now, it aims to facilitate the smooth implementation of the India-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement through electronic origin information exchange between the two customs administrations in respect of the goods. The launch has also marked a major milestone in the flourishing of bilateral relations between the two countries. Moving on to Guatemala now, the newly elected president of Guatemala, Bernardo Arevalo, angrily rejected a legal maneuver by the prosecution to invalidate his election triumph, calling the effort an attempted coup. The US and other Western countries have backed Arevalo, saying the probes are a coordinated effort to undermine him and democracy in Guatemala. Earlier, the Attorney General's office had declared it would attempt to annul the results of the first round elections, citing irregularities in voter registrations as well as data collected the day of the June vote. But the head of Guatemala's top electoral court said it would not hold a repeat of the elections. Now, Australia is on its way to announce new migration strategies focusing on intake and tighter rules to crack down on human trafficking. Australia's government will outline a plan next week to reduce immigration. With the country being one of the tightest labour markets in the world, it also aims to speed up the entry of highly skilled workers.
We have a plan to fix migration by ensuring Australia can get the skilled workers that Australia needs, but putting an end to any abuse and any rorts. The new migration strategy we'll announce this week will bring migration back to sustainable levels. What I want to see is a system that works for Australia, a system in which we're able to access the skills that we need.
The European Union Commissioner for Agriculture, who is currently in India, spoke on his ongoing visit and his aim. The Commissioner also expressed his satisfaction after meeting the concerned Indian authorities. Let's take a listen.
The main target of this visit is to strengthen to improve our trade relations between European Union and India. And I'm very satisfied after the meeting with Indian representatives of Indian authorities and with representatives of Indian business. I'm accompanied by representatives of the most important sectors of food system from the European Union. They are very important. Also, the direct contacts between representatives of business from European Union and from India. No, we have huge potential to increase our trade relations.
Europe on Friday reached a provisional deal on landmark European Union rules governing the use of artificial intelligence, including governments' use of AI in biometric surveillance and how to regulate AI systems such as the ChatGPT. The two sides are set to hash out details in the coming days that could change the shape of the final legislation. Here's a report.
With the political agreement, the European Union moves toward becoming the first major world power to enact laws governing artificial intelligence. Friday's deal between European Union countries and European Parliament members came after nearly 15 hours of negotiations that followed an almost 24-hour debate the previous day. The two sides are set to hash out details in the coming days, which could change the shape of the final legislation. The accord requires foundation models such as ChatGPT and general-purpose AI systems, GPAI, to comply with transparency obligations before they are put on the market. These include drawing up technical documentation, complying with EU copyright law, and disseminating detailed summaries about the content used for training. Governments can only use real-time biometric surveillance in public spaces in cases of certain crimes. The agreement bans cognitive behavioral manipulation. Consumers would have the right to launch complaints and receive meaningful explanations while fines for violations. EU chief later in a tweet hailed AI Act as a global first. She said it's a unique legal framework for the development of AI you can trust, and that it will safeguard rights of people and businesses.
Moving on in DD India Live, now let's get you all the action from the world of sports. Well, India will take on England in the second T20 International at Mumbai's Wankhede Stadium today. England were too good for India in the first T20 as they defeated them by 38 runs. India were only able to score 159 runs in their chase of 198 runs. Now, not once has India beaten England in a bilateral T20I series so far, but India's fielding was way below par, and there seems a need to improve the team's fielding given the next year's T20 Cricket World Cup. Now, England appears to be a well-rounded unit on the other hand, with almost all the top players having hit the top gear right from the word go. India will have to hope for Harmanpreet Kaur and Smriti Mandhana to fire with the willow to support an inexperienced spin pack right now. The International Olympic Committee has cleared some Russian athletes to participate in Paris 2024 Olympics, though they will not be participating in any athletic sports, but will be present as neutrals, according to the president of World Athletics. Now, this comes in the wake of the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, and prior to that, Russia was barred from participation for implementing a state-sponsored doping program that resulted in bans from many competitions, including the Olympics. In hockey, Indian men's hockey team is all set to face Canada on Saturday in the ongoing Junior Men's Hockey World Cup in Malaysia, with both the teams being the members of Pool C. Team India will have to work sweat and blood to clinch this victory for themselves. India had lost to Spain earlier in the last match that took place on Thursday. They scored a victory by 4-2 against Korea in an earlier match. Well, the top two teams from each pool will eventually advance to the quarterfinals round, while the bottom two in each pool will play for a ranking place from 9 to 16. The World Cup, which started from the 5th of December, will come to a close on the 16th of December. Moving on, Major League Soccer Commissioner Don Garber has said that global football icon Lionel Messi's impact on Major League Soccer this season exceeded even the wildest of expectations and helped raise the league's global profile to new heights. Messi led Argentina to a World Cup triumph last year and sent North American ticket prices soaring when he spurned an offer from Saudi side Al Hilal to join last place Inter Miami. He made his presence felt instantly, scoring a jaw-dropping game, winning goals in his July debut, and Messi mania went into overdrive as he racked up 10 goals in 7 League Cups that led the club to their first ever trophy.
You know, his impact has been unimaginable. You know, we now are not just part of the global conversation, but one of the biggest stories in global football. You know, and that has all sorts of aspects to it. The eyes of the world are now on Major League Soccer because the best player in the game is here and succeeding. He's happy and he's succeeding.
Moving on, the Saudi Green Initiative Forum, a beacon of environmental advocacy, has dominated discussions at the ongoing COP28 summit as world leaders converge to address the pressing issues of climate change. Third edition of the forum, held under the theme From Ambition to Action, emphasized on sustainability, energy transition, marine conservation and unlocking climate finance to foster global climate resilience. The focal point of the Saudi Green Initiative Forum is the innovative SGI Gallery, offering interactive experiences that showcase the diversity of climate action initiatives taking root across Saudi Arabia. A major highlight from the forum is Saudi Arabia's ambitious push for renewable energy. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika Mehto, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.